Hi Dark Realmers, I'm horror writer Michael J Elliott, author of Portraits of Dread and Choice Cuts, A Bite from the Dark Realm. And welcome to the Dark Realm Diaries. Hi Dark Realmers, today I'm really pleased to be able to bring you the first of our regular series, Everything You've Wanted to Know About ... And what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the world of horror's most famous creations. We're going to be looking at vampires, demons, witches, ghouls, mummies, and the like. You may learn some interesting facts. If you're a reader, that will increase your enjoyment of that particular type of monster that you might be reading about. And if you're a writer like myself, you may get some interesting background that will help you with the current work you're working on. So today we're going to start off with our very first look at famous monsters. And I thought for today, for the very first one, we'd look at the great classic monster, the werewolf. Okay, so let's start off with a pretty basic piece of information. Where does the word werewolf come from? Well, it's actually an Old English word, and the word wer means man and wolf means wolf. So it means man-wolf, literally. But werewolves are also known as lycanthropes, and that comes from the Greek word lykos, meaning wolf. Now, the belief in werewolves has been around for a long, long time. It was very common belief in European folklore, but you'd be interested to learn that actually humans being able to transform into animals that cause other people harm is a mythology that can be found on all the continents, from Africa, China, South America, and there's stories of them not just turning into wolves, but also pigs, snakes, goats, many, many other things. It's very interesting that it's gone right around the world, but our interpretation tends to stick to the good old wolf. Okay, so we all know that to become a werewolf, traditionally, if you become bitten by a werewolf, you'll turn into one yourself at the next full moon. But there are other ways that you may not be aware of. You can become a werewolf if you are cursed or smited by the gods. In one story in Greek mythology, Zeus transformed the man Lycaon into a wolf because he slaughtered his son and then fed the meat to the gods, which was a blasphemy. And so for his evil deed, Zeus transformed him into a wolf. And it was also believed that if you were excommunicated by the Catholic Church, you too could also be transformed into a werewolf because you no longer had the protection of the church and you were basically condemned. Okay, so that's how you can become a werewolf, but how do you actually spot a werewolf when it's not actually a werewolf and stalking the countryside, ripping out people's throats? Well, there actually is a couple of ways. One of the first signs or potential signs that someone may be a werewolf is if their eyebrows are joined up and meet on the bridge of their nose. That's traditionally thought of a sign as someone under the influence of lycanthropy. Another belief is from Russia, where people said that if you looked under someone's tongue and there were bristles under that tongue, that person was a werewolf. Another method that, way of checking, was to look at a person's hand. Now, if their middle finger was smaller than their index finger or shorter than their index finger, that was a sign that they were a werewolf, or at the very least they came from a line of werewolves. Scary stuff. Well, from the research I've done, what I've been able to discover is that this all goes back way, way back in time to when Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Now, because Jesus died for our sins, it's basically a slap in the face to a werewolf who has basically given up his humanity for the life of a wolf. Even if he is cursed, it's still a blasphemy against God and against us as human beings. So that's why silver is basically anathema to the werewolf. Okay, Dark Realmers, that's it for our very first monster trivia. I hope you've enjoyed our journey. Don't forget to hit like and that subscribe button. And please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What would you like to see? What would you like to hear me talk about and do some research on for you? I'm more than happy with your ideas. Okay then, so until next time, this is Michael J Elliott signing off, and remember, stay in the light, Dark Realmers.